Okay, good morning to the droves of people that we have with us this morning. So we start on page 47 today. It's just our review day, so most of today's class, you guys are just going to be working, I would say, in your groups, but individually on sample test problems. And let's just go over some general info first. So again, we're on page 47, and we'll take a look at our calendar. Today is our review day, December the 3rd. Our test is coming up Wednesday, December the 5th. There's no homework between now and then, so it's just studying for the test, and the test is on everything since the second test, all this stuff that's highlighted up here. Okay, so again, we're back here on page 47, and we'll just run through real quick the general overview about the test. So a lot of the test is going to be on applications of the derivative, local and global extrema using both the first and the second derivative tests. I'd like you to be good at both of them. Don't assume that you can just know one of them really well and that would be enough. I feel like it's okay for me to go out of my way and say, hey, you have to use the second derivative test on this, or you have to use the first derivative test on this one. We also talked about optimization and modeling, marginal analysis, which were the business applications, and then related rates, everybody's favorite. And then some other stuff. L'Hopital's rule we did most recently. Differentials, I need to change that word. I don't know why I used that word because we didn't use it here, but we'll just say linear approximations. This was the very first class after the previous test, was where we used the tangent line to approximate values on a curve. So linear approximations there. And then we had a couple of named theorems on one particular class, the mean value theorem and the racetrack principle. Okay. So that is a very short list of stuff that's going to be on the test. A much more detailed list of stuff for the test is on page 42. So if we jump to 42 real quick, you'll see a list of 15 things that you should be able to do to be prepared for this coming test on Wednesday. So go through that list between now and then and see which ones you're fine with and see which ones you need to work on some more. Again, some resources for the test, some problems that have never been assigned, so you can practice there. Old homework, the quizzes I just gave back, and then the sample test problems is where I think you'll spend most of your time today. But before you do, let's go to page 48. So here we are back on page 48 with a few things to know. You're allowed to use calculator. You're allowed to use a one-page sheet of notes. You are encouraged to not throw that sheet of notes away right after you finish the test on Wednesday. Bring it with you to the final exam. And you're also allowed to use the guideline for related rates, which was the very first page of this packet. So when you get here on Wednesday, rip that page off and you can have that in front of you. The test is intended to be 1 hour, but everybody gets extra time. So your window is 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. So if you need some extra time and you can get here early, I'll be ready to go at 8 on Wednesday morning. Okay, and as usual, show all work. So between now and the test, again, all you're doing is studying, but as soon as you hand that test in to me, start thinking about this stuff that's going to be due on Friday. You have a reading, and you have 3 questions of the day. Any general questions at this point? Okay, then let's make a few announcements and then you guys can work for most of this period here just on whatever problems you think are most helpful to you right now. So first, there's a workshop coming up tomorrow from 12:30 until 1:45 in C208. It is on successful test taking, from prep to anxiety busting to the best strategies. So folks recognize this is generally a stressful time of the semester for students. You got a lot of work piling up. Final exams just around the corner. This workshop is here to help you, give you some good techniques that you might use in the coming weeks. And as usual, free food is always a draw. So if you're around and interested, I'd encourage you to check it out. Any questions on that? Okay, and then just a few things over on the whiteboard there. The math club is meeting today, as it does every Monday at noon, just in the next room. On page 46, there's one problem that I'd like us to ignore. So if we can go to page 46, has this graph at the top. And in question 7, part F, you can just cross off. I don't like the question. I don't like that it's here. Unfortunately, I made the video on YouTube, and if you want a good time, you can like listen to me stumbling and bumbling my way through this on video. Anyway, you're not responsible for it, so you can just cross it off. Okay, and that's that. And then one last piece. On Friday, I had said we do have an alternative for the final exam. I've since learned that the final exam that Ted is giving for physics is on Wednesday the 19th, so I'm assuming that people don't want to do calculus and physics on the same day. I know that most of you are in both classes. So can we just get a sense of where you guys are? If you had to pick one of these two, Thursday, December 20th, which is what I've been saying for weeks, versus a day earlier. Preference for Thursday, December 20th, raise your hand. Okay, preference for Wednesday, December 19th. Okay, so it'll be on the 20th because that's what we've been counting on, but if it was a unanimous thing, we would have been able to move it. So Thursday, December 20th is when we'll have our final. Okay, any questions on anything before you guys get to work? Everybody knows how to access the YouTube videos. Any questions on that? Okay, so then I'll put flags out. I'll walk around and help if I can, but if you're at a table by yourself, move to a table where somebody else is sitting and see how far you guys can get in the sample test problems.